Welcome, and Collins here for the Makers Movement. Today we'll be creating a fall card. Let's go over the products I used to create this card. For the Makers Movement new fall release, the Fall Woodland Friends stamp set. It contains 10 pieces, 3 woodland critters, the bear, the fox, and the squirrel. It also has some elements like leaves, a mushroom, a berry branch, and an acorn, and 2 sentiments. So much to be thankful for, and the best place to be is surrounded by family. It also has some coordinating dies that you can purchase separately. It die cuts your bear, your squirrel, your mushroom, and your fox. Alright, we'll be also using our an Autumn Breeze 6x6 double-sided paper pad. And I give you a full view of it in a release video I did previously, and I'll link that below. But I'll do a quick thumb through right here. Now I've taken my paper pad apart a bit because I've been using it for projects. But yours will come all together. Okay, let me set this aside, and I'm going to just show you really quick some of the papers I will be using. We'll be using this tone-on-tone orange fall leaves, and the back side is a blue tone-on-tone with blue leaves on there. And there's diagonal stripe on one side and the polka dot on the other, and it has the same colors that you'll find throughout the paper pad. Alright, let's put all this to the side and let's bring in all the components for our card. I went ahead and stamped and colored our bear and other components for our card. So here's our bear and mushroom, and we'll be die cutting those in a few minutes. I'm going to set them over here. I'm going to pull out the pattern paper. Again, I'm going to use this tone-on-tone orange leaves paper, and I went ahead and fussy cut the leaves on the top. And the other paper, I cut a 2-inch, about 1.5 inches, and 1 inch of the diagonal end of tone-on-tone blue paper. And from my stash, I die cut a scalloped circle in this burnt orange color and cardstock because I thought that would make everything pop and coordinate nicely. We'll also be using layering cardstock in craft and 110-pound A2 top folding landscape style card. And that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so I'm also going to bring in some glitter washi. And this is glitter washi from my stash. I just cut that in half because I didn't have a thin one. Here are some more elements that you can see I stamped and colored. These are little leaves, an acorn leaf and a regular leaf. I did them in green and in orange just to coordinate with our paper here. And some enamel dots, and these are like an aqua color. And these coordinate nicely with our pattern paper, which I also made our bear scarf coordinate with it. I pulled the color inspiration from this color strip here. Alright, let me put all these components back, because we'll be using them in a minute, because we're going to first die cut, like I said, our bear and our mushroom. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the coordinating dies for the bear and the mushroom, and I'll just hold them down with some washi tape, and then I'll bring in my mini maker so we can die cut these pieces. So the mini maker comes with 2 cutting plates, an A plate and a B plate, and it also has a metal shim. I'm going to use my metal shim because I like to give it nice even pressure all the way through, although you don't need it with this mini maker. It does wonderful with the cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and place all my elements down here, and I'm going to run it through the mini maker. Now please excuse my camera because it goes into a little battle of light here with my metal shim, and it darkens everything for a brief moment. As soon as I move that out of the way, the brightness comes back into the frame, I guess. Okay, so there's my card base and our craft cardstock layering cardstock here. I'm going to use my Barely Art glue to adhere this panel down onto my card base. And this card panel is the same size as our card front, which again is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Once I have that on there, I'm going to bring in our other pieces. So here's the layered leaves piece of paper, and I went ahead and fussy cut those leaves on the top. I have my diagonal stripe here, and I'm going to leave about, I guess, 1/8 of an inch, or as I like to say, a smidgen, and whatever the smidgen measures, that's what I'm leaving. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom, but I make a boo-boo here. I'm going to tell you, it was one of those days in crafting. I put adhesive all the way to the top where the leaves are fussy cut. I didn't want to do that because I still have to tuck my blue pattern paper behind it. So I'm going to now fuss with it to get it in there. I don't realize it just yet because I hadn't pressed it all the way down. But when I go to push in my paper, that's when I realized, oh man, I put glue all the way to the top. So I managed to get it all peeled up. Luckily, since it's liquid glue, I'm able to peel it up and work with it. Have a little wiggle room. But I proceed to do it again on the right side, which I did not want to do. But I don't even notice it till a little bit later. So I'm going to cut off the extra here. Now, the blue paper goes across the entire panel. It creates sort of the illusion of the sky. That's what I'm going for here. Alright, so now that's all adhered, I want to put it in that little piece of the glitter washi tape. Now, this washi tape I adhere down to a piece of scrap cardstock so I can cut it thinner because I don't have thin gold glitter washi tape. So I went ahead and just adhered it up, I placed it onto the cardstock, trimmed it on my trimmer, and then I just peeled off the cardstock backing. I went ahead and put a little bit of glue there because of all the peeling and all that. I just wanted to make sure it stuck down. So now we're bringing in our burnt orange scallop circle, and we're placing that there to the left. That's going to be the little spot for our bear. While I have my acrylic block on there, keeping our circle dry to set, I'm going to go ahead and put some foam adhesive on the back of our bear, and then we're going to place him on that circle. Just give it a few more seconds here. I'm going to put the last few pieces, and then we're going to go ahead and place him in that circle so he pops up so you can see him a little more. Now he's in shades of brown, and with that burnt orange he really pops off the card, and you'll see it better here in a few minutes, and of course in the close-up. Putting the little pieces of foam tape behind his ears. So I'm going to remove all the backing, and he gets to be like in the center. The focus is all on him with that orange behind him. Get him in his little spot. And now I'm going to stamp our sentiment. I'm going to use that scrap that's left over from the orange leaves paper. And I'm going to use my VersaFine ink in Onyx Black to stamp my sentiment, which reads, "So much to be thankful for." I'm going to stamp this on here, and then I'm just going to leave it on there for a second. Since this is glossy paper, I'm just giving the ink a moment to kind of soak in a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. So I'm going to pull in my trimmer real quick and trim this all the way around. I'm just going to keep going until I have the shape I want. Since this is scrap paper here, left over from the cutting, the fussy cutting, there are some weird little angles on here. I'm going to clean it up, got it to how I want it, clear everything away, and this is when I realized, I wanted to suck that in there. I got to, once again, lift it up and then tuck it in. I want to tuck it so that the leaves, those lighter orange leaves on the top there, fall between the two F's, the one from thankful and the one from for. Just tuck it there, and then to connect my sentiment to my little bear here, I'm going to use the other leaves that I stamped and colored previously, and our little mushroom. If I could get them out of the tray. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put our leaves here. We're going to start with the green one to the left, closest to the bear, and then our little orange oak leaf here. I'm going to put that there, and then the mushroom in the center. And I'm going to put a little foam adhesive behind our mushroom so he pops up. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the last things, which are the enamel dots in the aqua colors. I'm going to put 2 to the left of the bear and 3 by the sentiment. Once that's done, our card is complete. I'll give you a few quick little close-ups here in a second. And here, let me get my camera to focus. And here we are. Here's our bear. We have that little glitter popping through. Our bear's popped up and he's in the main focus. Our little elements here, and our card is ready to go. Again, we use the Fall Woodland Friends stamp set, an Autumn Breeze 6x6 pattern paper, and the coordinating dies for the Fall Woodland Friends. Like always, I'll have everything linked in the description box below for you to check out. Please stop by the Maker's Movement. They have a great assortment of items. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you found some inspiration.